Yesterday in my Discord I shared, not a good sign for BTC. We just reached higher liquidity levels and took it with positive CPI news, and now surging up lower. Technically looks like we should be printing new low. I'll be holding all my longs, thinking that longs like COG created a reversal formation already and won't be dropping much lower. I'm speaking about certain alts that to my view should not be forming a new low because they already formed a reversal formation, right? Good thing might be to de-risk a bit if you didn't do it yet. Add some margin to existing loans or take some profits. Lowest possible I see is 53k with some alts actually not printing a new low. You might ask, Stan, why are you flipping bearish? I actually see several scenarios playing out currently, and the main reason I've actually shared this message is because this price action that we saw on BTC yesterday, it feels very manipulative. We searched up on positive news on inflation data actually being lower than expected by 0.1, right? We just took the liquidity at 559.5k. We pretty much just closed the shorts there, right? And we started to dump right after. That does not look great. Technically, it's a very clear reversal pattern, and it seems like the first target we might have is $53,000. The issues that I see with that is essentially the sentiment. Essentially, everything is happening on the market in terms of the fundamentals, technicals, and sentiment-wise, and decorrelation with stock market as well, because sentiment-wise, too many people, I believe, are actually expecting this price action. And sentiment-wise, I can ask you this question one more time. Do you have these thoughts in your mind that, man, I probably should not be buying currently? We probably go lower. Like, it's definitely not comfortable to buy currently. And man, we're going to 40k. I'm buying 100%. I will be adding additional cash to crypto and things like that. And the issue is that most of the market, it seems like, think like this currently, 100%. And I will share some things later in the video as well. And what's interesting, I would like to check out the market reversal at $25,000 for BTC, right? I do think that this is something that might actually be happening quite soon as well. We see surge up and then we see this impulsive pump. There were no ways, no options to people to actually enter on these pumps because shorts got liquidated and because the manipulator essentially worked in a way to make sure to liquidate a bunch of people here as well and not give them the option to enter the market with this impulsive move up. I know I was giving you projections that we should be having this move up in the midst of this week. We're on Friday already. Weekend might be slow. We will see. Weekends are usually slow. It might take a bit more time. But just sentiment-wise, just how people are flipping bearish, just how no one actually wants to buy, just how I see people selling the assets currently in anticipation to buy lower. My personal emotional perceptions, like yesterday I felt like essentially taking some profits on some things just to have some more stables, to be able to buy lower. It's just too obvious. And technically it's a very obvious formation for the reversal as well, the one that we are seeing currently. And there were so many times in this market, in this chart, that a formation like this, like an obvious formation like this was formed. They're just screaming to you, man, just take this short. It's gonna be alright. Just take this short, it's free money currently. Not each time, but very often, they were pretty much just pushing the chart upward, liquidating all these people who thought that essentially just such an obvious setup and they should be entering right here, right now. Some information from my Discord from one of the members that I wanted to share as well, on Tether dominance specifically. Tether dominance essentially shows us what is the percentage that people hold in stablecoins in the market currently, which means that essentially in the bear market, Tether dominance is the largest. In the bull market, Tether dominance is the lowest. Tether dominance on the daily. For reference, it was 2.58 at crypto bull peak and 9.5% at the bottom of the bear, with the idea being the lower the percentage, the higher crypto goes across the board, as tables represent a flight to safety. The current downtrend began a week ago after peaking at 5.9%. Support is at 4.3%. Again, yes, everything can turn to shit, but it seems to me we have a bullish few weeks ahead of us, and with 5 touches of the lower support line since mid-May, there is every chance we could break that downside target. And we have this default thing that the more times we're actually trying to break certain support on the chart, the higher the chance when we will be making a newer attempt on this as well. So this is just how this tether dominance chart looks like as well. And it's very, very important thing, because all we can do is essentially grasp information from different sources of information. I'll be sharing something very, very interesting on the decorrelation of stocks and crypto that we are seeing currently. But first, let's continue with the sentiment, because essentially sentiment is something in the market that you can just invest, you can just trade based on the sentiment, nothing else. Just based on what people actually feel, because we all have to understand that this market, it does not have professional investors. For a lot of people, this market is the first experience of essentially investing into something. Professional investors in this market, they are sitting in larger caps. Like there is not a lot of them in meme coins and stuff like this. We have one person, we have Ansem, screaming that Solana is bearish currently, sharing that he is essentially taking profits and liquidating into stables, right? And all of Solana market is scared shitless. These tokens, they cannot even pump to $1 million of liquidity currently with all the efforts of Solana influencers, because one person, the main guy for Solana Bros, is just saying that this is bearish. It's just so crazy to understand. I don't hold, it's like we're pretty much at the peak fear for Solana at this stage. And I actually do expect from it to underperform for a bit once Ethereum will be surging up, but it will catch up eventually. And right now is already quite nice time to get in. I don't hold any whiff and never been bullish on it, faded it all the way to billions. But posts like this happen closer to the bottom than they do at the top. Pain over soon, I reckon. Swapped all my whiff to mock. I love whiff, but this chart looks disgusting. This is just default Ansem lover. Ansem mentioned something about mock. Ansem publicly probably sold his Solana as well, sold his whiff as well, and essentially his fanboys are following. And it's totally fine if you're following someone if you're under the age of 25, right? Because for a man, it's 100% fine to follow some other man under the age of 25. If you follow some other man religiously and you're over the age of 25, you're probably gay. I feel extreme comfort. Indian Blast holder sharing fear and greed index. The reason he can feel extreme comfort because he's holding the best asset out there. Right now, the whole market is red. Indian Blast is green. This is fucking default. This is something you actually need to get used to when you hold leverage bet on the best founder, on the best ecosystem, the only ecosystem that makes sense in crypto, the only one. None others actually do. Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is 25. Fear, current price 57k. This index is only about Bitcoin. So like your alt's Fear and Greed Index is probably like in 15s or something. Man, this is when you buy. Do you understand that each and every time this fucking index was at 20 and 50 and 25, there were a bunch of people calling for lower. There were a bunch of people sitting in stables and they get fucked each and every time. It's so crazy. Obviously, we have different projections, different overviews on what's going to happen. We will see. I will show you something on the stock market and crypto just now. Here is the fragment from Kyle from Crypto Banter just from today. I wanted to share. I really like this part in terms of decorrelation of BTC and essentially stocks. And he's sharing 3 different options. We will listen to him and I will provide you with my comments as well.
Right, one, you could see the S&P 500 come down aggressively and unfortunately crypto go down more. Or number 2, you could have the S&P 500 just consolidate and crypto play catch up. Or number 3, you could have both doing something like this, which would mean that crypto would catch a bit, similar to what we're seeing now with the Dow Jones going.
So 3 different options. If stocks consolidate, there is a high chance that crypto will catch up. If stocks will dump aggressively, there is a high chance that crypto will dump even more as well. And we might have the option where stocks will start to correct and crypto will essentially go up. The main reason for that is because we might just have this change in terms of the rotation of liquidity, right? The same thing that we have in our season. We have BTC that's being viewed as this less risky risk asset. And once we're out season, pretty much just means that people are selling the BTC and buying into lower caps. and they are going down the risk curve, right? The same thing might be happening with stocks and crypto, because I do remember at the peak of the last bull cycle, what I was doing, I actually sold my stocks and I bought crypto. I sold all of my stocks. I do believe that something like this will be happening with more default investors closer to the peak of the cycle, right? But smart stock investors, as mentioned in a couple videos before, I do think this is a very nice time to reposition from stocks into crypto, because I was showing you the chart of Nasdaq in comparison to Ethereum. Ethereum fucking underperforms for a long time already. It should honestly stop at a certain stage. What do I think is the scenario moving further? I do honestly believe in a bullish scenario for crypto. The only case for us is that, yeah, if stocks will start to correct aggressively, following elections, following everything that's happening, like I don't honestly believe that, because how they would want to re-elect if they would not make people rich in the election year? Like, this whole rally is just because we have the election year, and just because they are buying the votes, essentially, right? We have some, like, the issue that we might have, and the reason I'm actually connecting this to political situation, the issue that we might have is that they will decide to remove Biden like a toll, and like put all the flaws, all the sins on Biden, and just let the whole thing to shit in the last several months, right? But that's like worst case scenario. Probably they will just continue with the replacement, right? And they will try to continue to buy votes, essentially, by pushing the stock market. So we might go into consolidation, but I do believe that crypto should be catching up as a risk asset, and I will be showing you some more things as well on this matter. Risk-taking delusional optimists living life on the edge. We don't know if everything's going to be right, but we know that not everything can go wrong. And we know that the risk of taking no risk is far greater than what they call risk. Taking huge risk is the logical consequence, after realizing that in life, loss is certain, but greatness is not. I was seeing some post from a guy as well that, like, worst case scenario, I lose all the money and I will go back to 9 to 5. Other option is just slavery or 9 to 5 anyway. So what do I have to lose? This is a very interesting mind frame as well, because we are risking fucking a lot here, right? And it definitely makes sense. It's like the risk that you want to be taken 100%, especially before Bitcoin dominance went down. It's just crazy. It's like a no-brainer. German weirdness continues. Why is 2,500 BTC returned to their wallet? What the fuck is going on? Is this Germany being used as a manipulator? Of course, I'm screaming about this since the time we actually heard about this news. I think I was right on Ansem being government puppy as well. I'm talking about Belarusians. Belarusians actually lost tens of millions people in the World War II. No one is talking about them. You probably did not know that before, right? And interesting thing is that I actually see this as the fight between eagle and the serpent. Eagle nations decided to destroy some of the serpent nations. And I do believe that there are reasons why the peak, like the battlefield, was exactly around Belarus and Ukraine to a certain extent as well, but I do believe mostly in Belarus. And they even given you hints. You can check out the flag of Mexico. You can see the eagle torturing a serpent here. You can check out the flag of Caucasus, which is the region in Russia. Eagle torturing a serpent as well. They are even giving you clues. They're pretty much making fun of you at this stage. And like these symbols, they make so much sense, so much fucking sense on different countries. These are the people that control us. These are the people that manipulate us. Over time, I think we will all wake up. And I do believe in a very short time from now. Let's come back to our crypto stuff, right? Rotation. If rates are going to roll over as inflation falling like a rock would imply, the long duration, high risk assets will get repriced to the upside the most, as opposed to the state of consolidated semi-fear we've been in. Applies to crypto too. Pretty much he says that repricement of risk assets is inevitable in the current setup, right? I do believe that because, man, the correlation is just too large of a manipulation at this stage. Top crypto Twitter and their low time frame sentiment. Ansem bearish, GSR bullish, Chefingza bullish, Diffie Squared bullish, Big Dick Bull 69 bullish, Owen 1 versus 9 bullish, 0x Inas bullish, Smart Test Money bullish, Juice, bullish. I battle Rhino, bearish. You can think that Ansem is a puppy of the US government. He's working for manipulator and getting paid for it. And then you're actually getting most of them bullish currently at this stage. One more time, just think about the sentiment. Just think about yourself taking your hard-earned cash, like from your job and from your business, and putting currently into crypto and longing your favorite altcoin. How do you feel about this? Do you feel this void that actually sucks every piece of energy inside you, thinking, man, I will probably just be losing money one more time. I will probably just lose them. Probably it's not just worth it, you know? It feels so bad. This void, I'm just keep losing, I keep losing. It feels so bad. This is the fucking time you actually act. This is the fucking time you actually buy. I'm not actually suggesting to long things at this stage. That's up to you. I'm sitting in my longs, right? But that's essentially up to you. Bob Lucas is sharing, the BRICS alliance is growing stronger and more focused, and those economies are much more gold focused, while the West alliance is in certain terms and far more indebted. This along with a multi-year gold breakout chart is why I think a big bull market is on. So BRICS alliance is pumping their asset, which is gold, and the other alliance will be pumping the asset, which is all the other assets, essentially first the assets in the US, right? Definitely makes sense. This man will carry the Ethereum beta trade. This is Pacman, the founder of Blast. Overall, I'm not flipping bearish at this stage. I'm just sharing to be a bit cautious. Probably it's actually too late to be a bit cautious. I should be sharing to be a bit cautious before I get liquidated 3 times out of $300,000, right? I do think that we're at the peak fear. I see degenerate stupid behavior from my point of view. People are selling the bottom, and it almost feels like someone is forcing yourself to sell the bottom currently. All this fear index and things like that. And yeah, man, of course we are going lower. Of course you would be able to buy lower as well. There are so many people actually thinking the same. I do think that like the only possible way we are going to 40K and this situation is happening is stock market dumping hugely for some reason, right? This is the only case. Will they do this? Don't think so. Like worst case scenario, some black swan event, like Biden change going very, very badly as well. And I do expect a certain black swan event to actually happen like very, very soon. Probably in upcoming 3 to 5 days. But it's not going to be that large. It actually might mark the bottom. They actually might use it to actually provide this final capitulation, to finally dump BTC to 53K. Because I don't see us honestly going lower than 53K. And I know I was sharing like several times, I don't think like this is the lowest, this is the lowest, this is the lowest, and 53K is something that I'm sharing currently as the new target. But 53K, like if we go lower than 53K, we would actually break through our long 10x line, which we held through the whole pump up, through the whole move up, through the whole bull market. This would be just a bearish scenario for quite some time. So it will give the option for people to accumulate, to buy these assets very, very cheap, with not a lot of fear, because probably the worst like happened already. Do you think that if we are at $40,000, people will start calling for 30K? Probably like some of them will, right? Some of them will start calling for 12K, but lower than that, not for BTC, but like for altcoins specifically, with the ETF opened as well, with essentially reputation of BlackRock, they will just be called pump and dumpers. They opened up the asset for trading, and 8 months later, it actually at the same price levels than when the time they actually opened it up initially, all right? So we would see what will be happening. Overall, my view is I'm bullish. I think this is actually the time to inject the capital currently at this stage. I think if you would be injecting the capital currently, you would be doing very, very well after some time, especially on spot. We have people like Miles sharing that he's going all in currently and buying this fear. And the guy is making 150K plus from his business, and he's like 21, so he probably knows some things, right? So yeah, overall, I'm staying bullish myself. I'm actually staying in longs as well. To be honest, you don't need anything else except sentiment to successfully trade this market. Anything else. And you might also read your sentiment from me. Remember myself after the first dump, and remember and see, look at myself, at me, currently. Definitely a change. I'm sure that yesterday I really felt fear. I really wanted to take profits on some things. This is a very, very interesting setup that we are in. I do think that dump to 53k is too obvious, and I do think that they will probably be pushing it up to liquidate a bunch of people. Maybe it will be happening as soon as this weekend as well, because they dumped on the US holiday. They might be just pumping on the weekend. So all the people who are sitting in stables will miss out greatly. An interesting thing, finalizing the whole talk, that we've seen on $25,000 for BTC on the market reversal when we had it, right? Give me 1 second. I will just find it on the chart and I will share it with you. Right here. So we had this pump where people were not able to get in. Therefore, most people who thought like right here, they were moving into stables, right? And right here, they probably missed the pump, and some of them probably entered in the middle, but they essentially lost like a large percentage of this movement, right? And if they re-entered here, they've done well. But if they just entered here and they essentially held, the difference is in tens of X's in comparison if they entered here already into the pump, or if they entered at the bottom. The difference is so large, it's actually so crazy. But I'm not trying to actually share this. What I'm trying to share is that once we had this pump, we had a bunch of downward consolidation, price action, and then we had dump. So they fucked with people's emotions very, very well right here. But again, this was the time where we were breaking through the bear market. A lot of people were calling for lower. Right here you had a bunch of people calling for 16k. Right here you had a bunch of people selling the BTC. Right here you had a bunch of people selling the BTC as well. They got fucked. This is just something to share from history from previously that we had just recently. Pretty much happened exactly a year ago. So 12th of July, we're here. We're in the middle of this thing. So around a year ago, it actually happened. This is pretty much it from my overview of the situation. Ethereum is keen. Ethereum ETF is coming. I do believe Ethereum ecosystem will be doing the best short term. I gave you several picks yesterday. In general, any Ethereum picks should do well. Degenerate Ethereum memes that been consolidating for a long time, they should be doing very, very well. And some people on my Discord actually bought them just recently as well. Solana, I do believe, underperforms short term, and I do believe that we should be reversing back up. The reason I didn't like the reversal, because proper reversal is to break through 61k and consolidate at least on a 4-hourly candle. We didn't do that. We just went down and we printed this technically perfect reversal pattern. They're just inviting you to short. Quite interesting. With 25 fear index, right? I'm probably talking just too much. I think you understood all the thoughts, everything I wanted to share. One more thing. I actually felt really grateful this morning. I want to thank all of you for actually watching this channel, for spending your time on the things that I'm sharing. It means a lot to me. I honestly would like to improve the content. I want to optimize the time for you. I want to be able to provide the largest amount of value in the shortest amount of time to you as well. So please share in the comments what things that you actually do like from this video. What things that you think I might improve. Maybe I'm talking too much on certain topics. Maybe there is too much conspiracy theories. Maybe there is too less conspiracy theories and you actually like to have some more of them, right? Maybe you would want to have a bit more humor, because all this crypto content is very dry. And some people, they definitely are blocked by my jokes from watching this channel, but I do believe they actually make sense. They make this information a bit more easier to digest as well. Thank you very much. There is a reason I'm actually thanking you at the end of each video. It's not just some words. I really am thanking you. Thank you very much for watching this video. And I will be seeing you tomorrow. Bye bye.